Hello, teachers from around the world, and welcome to Legendary Educator, the podcast that helps you improve your performance in the classroom and have more engaged and motivated students. My name is Ram Mistakawi. I'm a teacher and instructional coach, and I created this podcast because I'm passionate about education and about students achieving their highest potential. Today, we'll be discussing the traits of a successful teacher. We'll be answering the questions: how does a teacher succeed, and what leads a teacher to fail? Follow this advice, and you'll be on your way to becoming a great teacher. Before we begin, please take a moment to subscribe to the podcast so you won't miss any future episodes as they drop. All right, let's get to know our guest today, Mrs. Isabelle Simon.
Hello, my name is Isabelle Simon. I've been in the teaching business for over 40 years. Currently, I am at New Generation International Schools in Cairo, and my position is that I'm the school consultant advisor, and I have a passion towards young children because young children are the foundation. We're building character, we're building minds, we're building their personality, their self-confidence, high self-esteem, everything which is a life skill which will last with them forever. I was very lucky, honestly speaking, Ramas, because I had many favorite teachers. If I recall, over maybe half a century, I had the lovely kindergarten teacher. Her name was Miss Aravni. In Armenian, Aravni means pigeon. She was a short, chubby teacher with snow white hair, and she had a bun at the end, and no matter what we did, she was always happy. I don't remember what she taught us, but what I remember that I felt comfortable inside the classroom. And I still remember how comfortable we were together because she had that serene and calm nature. I never recall that she shouted or yelled or reprimanded or punished us. Why? Because she was very alert to our social and emotional needs. She was an old teacher, but she was very much into developing our personality, giving us the safe environment where learning takes place. So I'm a lucky person.
Okay, let's take you back from the very beginning. You said you have been in education for
40 years, Ramas.
40 years.
Yeah, and plus, because I always loved teaching, even with my kids, I always loved education. And I always loved to teach children. As I said before, children, because you're building the foundation. You're building the basic skills. You're building, and you're writing on a blank piece of paper where everything remains there, and they will remember you forever because you have that either positive or negative impact. And what skill did you teach them? Even the tiniest skill, tucking their chair, getting out their lunchbox, eating independently, washing their hands, brushing their teeth. All these skills are life skills that will remain with them, and they will remember you forever.
Why did you become a teacher in the first place?
Ever since I was a mom, I had this passion. I would volunteer. We would go to Montebello Public Library in Los Angeles, and I would take Nairi with me, and she would get like 20, 25 books. She was a little bookworm when she was young, and she would read, and I would read to her, and I would discuss with her, and I felt that I always ask her those why questions to bring her to higher order of thinking, to make sure that she not only understands, no, she needs to understand, and she needs to analyze, and she needs to add her point of view to the question, like, you like the ending? And she was a little author as well. They had a project to write a book, so she made the cover. She wrote, it was about a camel, and it was in the desert, and that was inspiring me. When Steve was born, we would also go to the public library, and I would read to him every night. And once I found that he held a book, he was only a year old, and he of course he didn't know how to read, but he memorized the whole book, and he was pointing to the words one by one, and it was my first birthday. I remember that book, my first birthday, and he kept saying the words by words. And I would bring all their friends inside my house, and we would play games, and I was always a teacher with them, guiding them, disciplining them. And that was my passion, where I started teaching little, very young preschoolers. And up till now, Ramas, as I said, once you have that bond with your students, they always remember you. They invite you to their weddings. They ask you to come to their birthdays. They are my friends on Facebook and Instagram page, and we always communicate. And I have a lot of good memories with them. Teaching is not a job for me, Rames. Teaching is a vocation. It's something that you either want to do it with all your heart. You will bear with those little young minds, whether they cry for their mommies, or whether they're unhappy, whether someone fought with them, whether they want to go home and they don't want to stay at school. You have to bear. You have to be patient. You have to understand their emotional development. What are their needs? And how can you make them comfortable inside that new environment, the strange place where they've never been there, with the strange person? I was a strange person to them. They don't know me. But at the same time, you could reach them. You build that trust so that they listen to you positively. I was always calm teacher. I never believe in shouting or time out or sit down in the corner. None of those things work, because they feel like guilty, like I'm not good. I am not a good student, or I'm not a good person. And that's something terrible to do to a child, to give them the feeling that they're not loved or they're not capable of doing. What I used to do is I used sometimes to ignore, sometimes to keep them busy. Once kids are busy, finish. There's no room for misbehaving. Everybody has a task to do. And once you do it, finish. They are on task. They are enjoying. They're learning through play. And that's the key.
Your experience is very much in the preschool or the KG sort of level of
No,
education.
I taught all levels, Ramas. I taught all levels. I taught even elementary, middle, high school, but my passion is with the young ones. Why? Because I believe that you build the first steps. If I have the best teacher at school, I will hire her as a kindergarten teacher, because she is giving the best instructions for the kids to start their learning education, whether they will love it or they will hate it with a passion. It's all about the teacher. It's all about the support the teacher needs from the mentors, from the administration, because novice teachers, they don't know what to do. They're left inside a classroom with a bunch of kids whom she does not know their emotional needs. She doesn't know their background. She doesn't know anything about them. So they get frustrated, and at the end they say, I don't want to work anymore, I'll quit. And that's not what we want. We want to make sure that they are empowered, that I'm saving your back, I'm there, don't worry. I will give you an action plan and support you and give you all what you need. I'm not inside your class to criticize or fetch for mistakes. No, I'm there to support you. As I say, I am the net. If you fall, I'm going to carry you. I'm going to help you to succeed.
If you were speaking to a teacher going into the classroom for the very first time, what advice would you give them?
I would tell them, set your tone from day one. Kids are very smart. They know how to test you. They know who to listen to, and they know who will be driving them off the wall.
At any age too, like not even like only high school students, even the elementary, even the very young
kindergartners are very smart.
Exactly.
Sometimes you underestimate their intelligence. They know when this teacher comes in, I have to be ready. And they know when this teacher comes in, I'm going to run around, go under the table, over the table, fight with my friends, don't listen to her. But that's not what a teacher should do.
I mean, what is the difference between the teacher who is, I'm going to use the word respected in the classroom, and a teacher who's not really respected, where the kids, go under the table and over the chairs and things like that? What is the difference in those two people?
Teachers believe that they are kids, they're playing, and it's okay to do whatever they're doing. They don't realize the importance of discipline and routine and procedure. These are the two key words. Routine, by saying routine, I mean, I come in the class, you're standing behind yours, and this must be taught. It's not only teaching math and science and geography and history, no. Teaching classroom routine and the procedure. How am I doing this? When I say line up, kids will run around. But when I say tuck your chair under your table, go next to the door quietly, stand behind your friend in one straight line, and wait for the door holder to open the door. See how many steps I said to make it clear to the students what are my expectations. That's very important. You have clearly to mention what are you expecting to do. When I give them a piece of paper, for example, to draw shapes, I have to say clearly, now we're going first thing to write my name on the right-hand side or the left-hand side. I'm going to write the date. I expect you to draw the shapes one by one. Start with your favorite shape, then color it, and make sure once you are done to raise your hand so that I come and pick it up. It's not like they're running to the teacher. I am giving them clearly. And you will find that some students will not get all those instructions at one time. They need one instruction at a time. They need to know what is the teacher saying, what are her expectations, and then they will follow. And she has to be consistent. That's the key. Consistency.
Yes, and this is relevant for any age level. This isn't only for the younger kids. This is even for the older kids. Don't go into the classroom expecting that they know everything or know what to do automatically.
And you have to be consistent and well prepared, Ramesh. As a teacher, I must have my plan A and my plan B. I can't go in and say plan A will work perfectly. No, it doesn't. Sometimes A and B don't work, and you have to come up with plan C. Because maybe the students are bored. Maybe they came with a rough day. Maybe they have been listening to a lot of people talking, and they're fed up, and they have to have their own time where they do their own things. Always have the plans, different plans, and according to the needs. It's not always the book. It's not always the curriculum. It's not always the subject. It's the child. Look at the child or the student as a whole. I'm not only there to teach them. I have to differentiate. I have to know their emotional needs. I have to know their background. It's like differentiating a lesson. You have the average, below average, above average students. But at the end, you don't teach them all the same. You teach the same topic, but you differentiate.
And so a teacher has to be creative and has to be flexible in the classroom, right? If something isn't working.
Very flexible. And what works for you does not work for somebody else. Even with discipline, not everybody has the same way of being disciplined. Some you need to be firm with them. Some you need to talk to them. Some you have to convince them. So they're all different individuals, different creatures who need to build the trust. Once you build the trust and you let them feel you're in charge, that I listen to you, I care about your feelings, and I love you. I want what's best for you.
Let's focus on this. Let's focus on the trust, because that is very much a key element in the relationship between a teacher and a student, right? How does a teacher build that trust with a student? Very simple.
Trust that I want what's best for you. My interest is not to torture you or reprimand you constantly. No. And you have to communicate that. I don't know if you read the book of Stephen Covey about The Speed of Trust. Every teacher should read that book, The Speed of Trust. It has beautiful examples. And trust will not be built in a day or two. You need days to make sure the student understands. Even if you reprimand them, you need to go and talk to them and tell them, why did I do this? Why did I have to give you this consequence?
Well, the consequence has to make sense.
It has to be making sense, not only making sense, and according to the action. It's not like one size fits all. No, every action has a reaction, and you don't want to go head to head with the student and start arguing with them and telling them, no, you did. No, I didn't. Yes, I did. No, stop. Doesn't work that way. You have to build the trust, not only with the students, with the families as well, because families have to trust you as a teacher that you want the well-being of your child.
Yeah, it's been said before that, some teachers are only there for the paycheck. It is very obvious to the students and to the parents, a teacher who's in there for the paycheck or a teacher who's in there because they actually want to be in there.
Yeah, and that's what I asked during my interviews with the teachers. I say, are you here because you love teaching, you love children, you're a patient person, or you want to earn money? You want to earn money, you can go anywhere else. You can go to a bank, you can go to a big company, you can go do whatever you please. But dealing with children, I'm dealing with very important piece of their body. I'm building their minds. I'm dealing with their heads. I'm giving them the confidence that you're capable. You can do it. I know you can. These are the words which will inspire them to do their best because you believe in them. Believing in them, this is the key for a good teacher. And setting the tone, being consistent, loving them, honestly, not loving, I love you. No, I can say I love you, but I don't show that I love you or I care for you. It's action which speak louder than words. The children are very clever and God gave them that sense. They feel who loves them honestly. And that's like a tool to protect themselves.
Yeah, and you can't fake it.
And they know who
you cannot fake it. Yep.
Yes, you can't. You can't tell them I love you and you say, stay away from me. I don't want to come near me. Stay away. They come near you with their messy hands, with the crayons, with their runny nose, with the sauce while they're eating their lunch.
With their relationship problems. Remember, I was a high school teacher. So their messy hands is their
paint, probably.
no, it's their messy life choices.
Every stage has its ups and downs. But at the end of the day, they're all having special needs and special emotional development that you should respect. And respect is a mutual feeling.
Yes.
I can't show that I humiliate you and I talk to you in a bad language or use foul words,
belittle
and I
you
expect you to respect me.
Exactly.
I can't humiliate
No, it's
child.
earned. Respect is always earned. It is not something that's automatic.
You're absolutely right. And that's what I always say. Show respect and you will earn that respect.
Right.
Because it's a mutual feeling. I respect you, you respect me.
You have been in almost all of the administrative positions, from a teacher to a supervisor, a principal, a school principal, a director, and up and up and up and up. So you experienced a lot of teachers in your career. What are some of the traits of a successful teacher?
A successful teacher is always loving. She's always well prepared. She knows her subject well. She is firm.
She or he?
He or she.
Yeah.
She or he. Whoever,
he or she, yeah.
We have more teachers than he teachers. She's always ready. She knows her subject in depth. And if she makes mistakes, she apologizes. She has to have charisma. She has to be able to deliver her subject to all types of learners. It's not one type and that's it. She has to put all sorts of engaging activities. Her objective is clear. The skill is clear. She has videos, she has hands-on activities, she has discussion inside the classroom, she has all sorts of things. Most importantly, she has to set the tone, as I said previously, from day one. And she is a lifelong learner. When I used to teach students 40 years ago, I can't teach the same style now.
Mm-hmm.
I've been taking a lot of PDs and I've been updating my information and reading a lot because I want to be a proficient educator.
Mm-hmm.
And to be that, you need to be a lifelong learner. You can't stop at a phase and say, I am know-it-all. Nobody knows it all. The one who says, I know it all knows nothing, actually.
Mm-hmm.
But
Mm-hmm.
you need to learn a lot. You need to read a lot. And you need to know your students well and their background as well to be able to help them. I don't blame a child if he's angry. I don't blame a child if he's aggressive. Aggressive kids are being beaten and they're abused at home.
Mm.
Calm children are the children that their parents understand their needs and talk to them. They're not busy parents running around. I know work is important, but my child is important to me. He is my first business.
Mm.
I'm raising a person who will be a competent citizen in society once he grows up.
Mm-hmm.
So in order to do that, what do I need to do? I need to talk. I need to communicate so that I communicate with them. And we all do mistakes. I always say, mistakes are proof you're trying. Don't be angry with your child and don't look after grades. Oh my goodness, that drives me crazy. And grades and grades and
And so
grades.
this is a message for the parents. Now we're talking to the parents.
Yes, it is. Yeah. Teachers and parents are working hand in hand. Mm-hmm. They should walk parallel, Ramas. It's not like the teacher does something and at home I do something else. I'm confusing the students.
Yes.
What do I want? Do I want to be respectful and honest and say the truth, even if I make a mistake, or I'm scared and I'm coward because somebody is scaring me and I have to be a perfect child. I have to do everything perfectly. There is no perfect child and there is nothing which can be done perfectly. You can do perfect as much as you try. However, you will make mistakes and it's okay to make mistakes. So what?
And I think likewise for the teacher, there is no such thing as a perfect teacher, right? Every teacher has their strengths. Every teacher has their qualities and their weaknesses, of course, right? So there's no such thing as a perfect teacher. So if a teacher's goal is to be the perfect teacher, they're going to stress themselves out. I mean, they can be sort of better and better and better, but
there is no such thing as perfect teacher. Teachers always make mistakes, and if they know how to reflect every day and they see what happened that made me fail today in this area, what do I have to do next time to be better? So reflection is a key part in your daily life as a teacher. Reflecting the beginning of the lesson, middle of the lesson, end of the lesson. And that's why we start the lesson by giving the objective. Middle, they start working. At the end, we wrap up the lesson. What did we learn today? And that's when the students start responding with the reflection of this happened, and then we learned this, and so and so. Teachers have to reflect daily through the day and say, what did I do? What did I mess up in this area? And how can I do better next time?
Yes.
And this is the key for studying and reading and asking. It's okay to ask questions. If I don't know the answer, I will go to someone who's more professional, more experienced.
Yes,
go ask.
Yes, ask questions.
Go peer visit. This is a very good strategy. Go inside the class of a experienced teacher who has been teaching for 5 years, 10 years, 20, 30, 40. See how does she run her session smoothly and it all interrelates with each other and starts making sense. Kids are engaged. They are learning, they are discussing, they are participating, and they are happy. The atmosphere, it can be noisy. It's not a perfect class. Everybody's sitting quiet. Maybe they're sitting quiet because they're scared.
Yes,
But,
right.
but if it is noisy, messy, it means they're working and learning is taking place. This is the most important thing. When I go in, I'm not observing the teacher. I'm seeing, what are the kids learning?
Mm-hmm.
What are they doing?
Mm-hmm.
Are they having cooperative learning? Are they working as a team? Or
Are they
everybody?
learning at all?
Yeah,
Or just
or
sitting
they're
there
nothing. You
with
ask them,
glazed
are you?
eyes? Yeah.
He's in a la la land
Exactly.
looking
He's
upstairs.
quiet, but he's not learning.
Exactly.
We are actually running out of time. I do have one question for you. As much as you've seen successful teachers and you've also seen teachers who have failed, why have they failed? Why would a teacher fail or give up and say, I can't do this anymore? I'm going to go get another job or I'm going to leave or whatever. Like, why would they fail? What are the things that would lead them to fail?
Honestly speaking, Ramesh, those millennium teachers, the ones who were born later in the 2000s, these, honestly speaking, I've seen a lot of them. They don't have patience and they don't have perseverance. They quit very easily. They haven't started yet. I say, give yourself a chance. You're a good caliber. You can be a good teacher in the future. However, they don't listen. Say, no, I don't want to do it. I can't. They don't listen to me. I don't know how to handle them. Or they're very noisy, or they are very spoiled. No, it's not their mistake. It's your mistake as a teacher. Have confidence that you will be able to succeed. And some of them, honestly, they persevered and they worked on their classroom management skills because it's the number one skill. If you can't manage your class, no learning is taking place. But if you do have strong classroom management, you set the tone from day one, you know what are your expectations, you teach them routine and procedure, then you will not have any problems in the future. But those teachers who consider themselves failing, they don't have the patience because parents used to give them everything they wanted right on the spot. I want a car. Okay, let's go buy you a car. I want to have this dress. Okay, mommy, let's go buy the dress. No.
So the issues we were seeing in the classroom, now we're seeing in the teachers who are teaching these students.
Exactly. They want to have the result at the moment.
Right.
You can't have that. Life will not give you everything you want on the spot. You have to earn it. You have to work for it. You need to give yourself chance. If I make mistakes, it's okay. Life is not a straight line. If it's a straight line, you're dead.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
That's our show for today. Share this episode with your teacher friend who might benefit from listening to it. And comment and let me know what you liked best about Mrs. Simon's advice. Don't forget to rate this episode and subscribe to the podcast. I'm Ramesh Takawi, and this is Legendary Educator. Thanks for tuning in. I'll talk to you next week.